Come here. Come here. In today's episode, we're going to be talking all things free-range chickens. How much space do you need for it to be classed as a free-range chicken? And how far will these chickens wander? I've got Brahma chickens, as you can see here. We've got the beautiful Marlene and the flock in the background. Marlene is 10 months old. Woo! And Marlene has now gone. I don't know where Marlene is. She's gone. When people think of free-range chickens, they automatically picture a chicken running through acres of lands and fields with so much freedom that it's unlimited. But that's not actually the case. With free-range chickens, you can have a garden. As long as they're being let out of the coop, that classes as a free-range chicken. To me, free-range chickens means they can live off like bugs and insects from the lawn, do a bit of digging, freedom for new places to explore. So the definition of free range, I would just say, is freedom. Clear as day. Just letting them out of the coop, letting them explore new horizons. For us, free range means letting them roam in parts of the garden where they can forage naturally. And chickens absolutely love foraging. They'll spend hours scratching through soil, looking for insects and worms. We've got a loud one outside at the moment. We have a very loud cockerel outside at the moment, so just bear with me. But the biggest thing you'll notice when chickens free range is how active and curious they become. They're constantly investigating something, a new patch of soil, a pile of leaves, even your shoes that you've left in the garden. They're very inquisitive and love to explore, making every day different for them. Free range, happy chickens. One of the biggest benefits of free range chickens is their natural behaviour. Chickens are built to forage. When they're allowed to roam, you'll see them dust bathing, scratching, pecking and exploring all day. This keeps them mentally stimulated and physically active, which can lead to healthier birds, healthier eggs and a healthier overall flock. Another huge advantage is natural pest control. Chickens love insects. Beetles, larvae, slugs, worms. If it moves in the soil, the chickens are willing to find it, they'll be eating it. On a small garden, homestead or farm, they'll certainly help keep pests under control by just doing what they naturally do best. And of course, there are the eggs. Many people believe chickens that access to a varied diet of outdoors can produce eggs with richer yolks and stronger shells. Come on then, you go down. We really do need your likes and your subscribes. So if you could just subscribe right now, just click that button right there. The challenges. For starters, you want to keep them well away from any plants you're growing in your garden, your vegetable plot, anything like that needs chicken wiring away. You can still let them free range, just don't give them full access to all of your land. If you've got a newly planted flower bed, for example, they are going to love that. They are going to jump in, have a bath, ruin all of it, dig up your seeds. You want to keep them well away from certain areas like that, especially this time of year when you try to grow. Make sure you chicken wired every certain area to keep them chickens out. Another thing to consider, which I've currently been through, was I have a dark grey Brahma chicken. Now she was going wandering. I think you'll have seen in a previous episode, she kept going missing. And at night, I don't know how she managed it, but I've got a certain coop area where they go back in. She was escaping, basically. I thought the whole place was chicken proof for a night when I lock them down. No, she found a bit of chicken wire that she's been flapping underneath. Anyway, long story short, yesterday, I discovered a pile of eggs in the shrubs in the garden. So she's not been doing laying her eggs in the nesting box, she's been laying them outside. Now, That's not good because I don't want to be going through all the shrubs to collect my eggs. I've obviously been giving them a bit too much freedom. She must clearly think that she feels safe there or she's not pestered, I'm not sure. So I have built more nesting boxes. I am trying to start using that. So I have moved the eggs into that nesting box. Who I've read online, so it should encourage her to start laying there. I don't know if it's going to work. Fingers crossed, we are going to give it a whirl. So even if you provide them nesting boxes in the coop, chickens sometimes decide they prefer to lay their eggs in a nice quiet bush. I was unaware of this. Or a pile of straw or somewhere hidden in the garden where they feel safe. That's what she's been doing, which means occasionally you're going to discover mystery eggs or a stash somewhere in the garden, which I have just done. And then also let's talk the negatives of free-range chickens. So the negatives, number one is going to be predators. They are open to all aspects of predators, whether it be predators from the air or predators from the floor. Foxes, I can't do much about that when it comes to certain aspects of it in the day. I only let them fully free range when I'm in the house. For example, they've got the split off pen. If I'm going out or I'm going away, they are confided into that pen where I know it's safe. It's covered netting from above, covered from the sides. Now, when they're in the day, if a fox decides to jump through the garden, I'm going to have been on the wiser, which isn't the best. I'm going to pray that it never happens, but again, I want them free ranging. I can't always think the worst scenarios. I know the worst scenario will eventually happen, but that's the point of having them as free range. I want them to have the freedom. So it's that balance that I'm trying to find at the moment. So foxes, hawks and other predators can be a risk depending on where you live. So managing the free range chickens usually means keeping an eye on them and making sure their safety and make sure they're secure at night in the coop, which I always do. It's more the daytime I'm referring to. We try to find a balance. The chickens get plenty of time to roam and explore the garden, but they still have a secure coop where they sleep every night. Over time, they also develop routines. They know where the food is, they know where the coop is, and most evenings they wander back themselves when the sun starts to set. That happens all the time in mine. Normally at the moment it's March, so it's dark by 6 p.m. They're always back in the coop anyway. So that's really good. I am noticing now they are starting to get up a little bit more early. I heard him crowing at 4 a.m. this morning. Fingers crossed they don't get any bloody louder. If you've got free-ranging chickens in your garden, you're going to understand when I say that it feels alive. When you've got chickens wandering around your garden, there's a point of interest and they just looks happy and you just want to be out there with them. It is a really nice thing seeing chickens roam around your garden, especially free-ranging. You just adds character to your garden and just brings life and colour and comedy to it. Chickens are hilariously funny. They are really comedic. You can just sit out and have a coffee and just watch them, and I can guarantee you one of them will make you laugh. Every chicken has its own personality, that's for sure. I'm 100% on that. They're so different. I've only got 6, and all 6 have a totally different personality. Some are bold explorers, some, like the dark grey one that we're referring to, the hen, she roams the furthest. I'm not sure if she's got too much and she just wants a break, but she is like roaming all over. I think she's got about 3 favourite shrubs that she likes to hide in, especially when the sun's out. She'll go into the shade there. But now obviously I figured out it's because she's laying a couple of eggs down there. The first one's to investigate something new. So for example, if I go out there and I'm doing a bit of banging or DIY, normally it's Rodney that comes up first, the cockerel, that has to just come and check it out to make sure it's safe before the rest of the flock will come wandering around. He's quite inquisitive when it comes to, protecting his flock and making sure I'd say he's quite nosy actually. He's very nosy. Raising free-range chickens isn't always perfect, but it's incredibly rewarding. You get healthier, happier birds if they're free-ranging. I think everything, even just down from the feathers and the feet, for example, when they're walking through the grass and stuff, they're constantly just cleaning. I've noticed from the winter before when they were in the coop, a lot more times before I'd actually chicken-proofed a lot of the areas. They were more restricted when they were younger. And I've noticed now when they're free-ranging, they seem a lot cleaner and naturally clean. Like they're walking through the wet dew grass and the feet are all like nice and clean. The feathers, they've got a lot more dust bathing to be done. A lot more free range as well, just to quickly run and have a little attempt at flying, even though they can't, but they like to have a go. You just see happier birds when they've got that much more space. Once you start watching the chickens roam freely, it's hard to imagine keeping them any other way. If you enjoyed this episode of the Free Range Chickens, don't forget to subscribe and follow. We really need your subscribes. Keep the channel going. I'm going to be keeping everything up to date on here this summer of all the new projects that we've got going, and we have got a lot of projects. So subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next episode.